I'm Sarah Borkson-Keeter with Nareit, and I'm here at the Hay Adams Hotel in Washington, D.C. for Nareit's 2018 CEO Forum and Advocacy Day. I'm joined today by Bill Meaney, President and CEO of Iron Mountain. Welcome, Bill.
Oh, thank you.
So, Bill, what would you say are some of the key drivers of growth for Iron Mountain at this time?
Well, first, our base business, which is the box or the hard document storage business, still grows in virtually every market in the world, so even in the mature markets as well as obviously in the emerging markets. But if we talk about new growth engines that are growing even faster, then I would point to things like our art storage, for instance, is a fast-growing area, and also our federal government business here in Washington is also growing very fast because historically the federal government has always insourced their records.
And what progress is Iron Mountain making toward the strategic plan, 2020 plan?
So if you recall, our strategic plan was really around three key pillars. One is to make sure that we keep our developed markets healthy. The second one is to do more in the emerging markets than we were in the past, and those are the faster growing markets where records management is relatively new. And then the third area is looking at adjacent businesses or areas where our customer base wants us to go. So if we look across those three pillars, is that, first of all, we're making very good progress. So if you think about the organic growth of the business before, delivered somewhere around, say, maybe a 2% EBITDA growth before acquisitions. And now with everything that we've done by 2020, is that organic growth will be over 5% organic EBITDA growth. And we've done that by making not just the developed markets more healthy and adding new growth into areas like the federal government, which makes that grow even faster. But other areas like the emerging markets were only 10% of our portfolio 4 years ago, and today they're 18% of our portfolio. And the emerging markets alone grow at about 9% a year in terms of storage, because at the root of everything is we're a storage company. And if we look at the adjacent business areas, we're making great progress, as I mentioned, that we're now into art storage in a major way, and as well as our data center business has really boomed.
And are you anticipating any impact from the tax reform legislation?
Well, the tax reform, in our sense, has been a positive thing. First of all, we're a REIT, so we benefit the same benefits of all our fellow REITs. But the other aspect is we do have a large service component of our business because our customers expect us to walk with them on their digital transformation, which around information management, which many times requires us or obliges us to actually add services around it. And of course, for the services is that we were taxed at normal corporate rates, and that rate has come down. We are very sensitive in terms of, because we are the most international of all the REITs. We're in 53 different countries around the world globally. So we are very sensitive in terms of making sure that we don't get caught up in the global taxation aspects of the new tax legislation. But we're pretty confident that we aren't. And the nature of our company is we repatriate cash routinely from our overseas operations back into the U.S., which obviously gets taxed as dividends when we pass it through.
And turning to the data center business, how has the company shifted its focus to faster growing market segments?
So the data center business is really an exciting market for us, as it is all the data center companies around the globe. But it's an area where not only is it growing in mid-teens in terms of annual growth, in terms of market size, but it's an area where Iron Mountain, because we've been so strong in the information management part, and 95% of the Fortune 1000 are already our customers. It was a natural place for us to grow into. So to take that same trusted brand where we were providing them originally hard copy storage, and now more and more in terms of digital solutions and imaging, and now we're actually storing that or giving them the infrastructure for them to put their IT infrastructure inside our four walls with our access to power and our access to telecommunications. So it's really growing very, very strongly.
And where do you see other opportunities? You're in so many different areas now. Where else could you go?
So I think there's a couple opportunities. One, just following on from the data center side, is that we are a business that really embraces corporate social responsibility. So one of the things that we've done is that we're really one of the largest procurers of green power in the United States. So for instance, we're in the top 50 companies in the United States in terms of purchaser of green power. And until we did the recent large acquisition in the data center space, we were 100% of our data centers, for instance, were powered by wind. And we actually purchase wind power, so it's not just buying carbon credits. We actually procure a certain amount of electricity that derives from wind power. So now we're obviously going to increase that even more. So I think that's really exciting. And Kevin Hagan, who leads those efforts for us, is the chairman of the ESG group for Nareit. So we're really proud of Kevin's work, and we're great that Kevin can bring some of the lessons that he's brought to Iron Mountain more broadly to the REIT community. The other area is around cybersecurity. So following on from just the data center opportunities, one of our fastest growing areas is a product which we call Iron Cloud, which is not a competitor to the big public clouds, just the opposite. Because the public cloud companies are many times our customers for our data center infrastructure. But this is a particular deep archive digital storage repository for companies that want super security at a very low cost, and gives them an air gap or isolated recovery product which gives them first line defense against ransom attacks. And you can imagine with today the focus on cybersecurity in general and ransom attacks in particular, this is an area that's growing very, very rapidly, so we're really excited about it.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you.
And for more information, be sure to visit Nareit's website, reit.com.